I talk a lot about lost treasure, gold buried beneath the earth, ancient riches lost to time, fortunes waiting to be rediscovered. But today, I want to do something a little different. Because time and time again, history has proven that treasure isn't just something in fairy tales. It's out there, hidden beneath our feet, waiting for the right moment to be found. And to prove it, I'm going to bring you 6 real-life discoveries, hoards of gold, lost crowns, and ancient riches worth hundreds of millions of dollars. These weren't fantasies, they were uncovered by ordinary people, workers, metal detectorists, explorers, each of them chasing a possibility that seemed impossible until it wasn't. Because the truth is, treasure still exists. And if these stories tell us anything, it's that the world holds far more wonder than we dare to imagine. We're going to be starting this list with the least valuable treasure, though let's be honest, any treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars is still an incredible find. And as we go, the discoveries will only get bigger and more valuable, proving just how much fortune is still waiting to be discovered. At number 6, we have the Panegyrish treasure, a stunning discovery from Bulgaria that, based on its weight in gold, is worth around $600,000, but its historical and cultural value, that's priceless. In 1949, 3 brothers were digging for clay in the Bulgarian town of Panegyrish when they struck something unexpected: gold. And not just any gold, but 9 breathtaking artifacts from the ancient Thracian civilization dating back to the 3rd or 4th century BC. These weren't just lumps of metal, they were masterfully crafted vessels, a file, drinking horns, and a counter, and even a whistle. They were likely used for royal feasts or religious ceremonies, possibly belonging to the Thracian king, Zeus III. The level of detail on these pieces is astonishing to say the least, with depictions of Hercules, Alexander the Great's conquest, and scenes from Thracian mythology. Today, this treasure is one of Bulgaria's greatest archaeological finds, a glimpse into a lost world of kings, warriors, and ancient rituals. And while its gold content is worth over $500,000, its significance is something that money can't buy. As we continue to move up on the list, the treasure is just getting bigger and bigger. This next discovery wasn't just valuable, it's completely changed what we know about Anglo-Saxon England.
It is the single biggest discovery of Anglo-Saxon gold in history, one set to change our view of the period forever.
The hoard was a really big insight for us into the nature of Anglo-Saxon England in the 7th century. I think the surprise that it's held for us was how rich the warrior aristocracy of that time must have been.
At number 5, we have the Staffordshire hoard, the largest collection of Anglo-Saxon gold and silver ever found, valued at over $4 million. It was 2009, and Terry Herbert, a metal detecting enthusiast, was scanning a farmer's field in Lichfield, Staffordshire, a field he had walked across many times before, but this time, he struck something incredible. At first, it was just a few gold artifacts, but as he dug deeper, he realized he had stumbled upon a buried treasure trove from the 7th century AD, a time when Anglo-Saxon kingdoms were locked in fierce battles for power. The hoard contained over 4,600 objects, including 4 kilos of gold, 1.7 kilos of silver, and 3,500 garnet inlaid items. Unlike other treasure hoards which often contain coins or jewelry, the Staffordshire hoard was almost entirely made up of war gear, sword fittings, helmet fragments, crosses, and gold grips with mysterious inscriptions. It's believed that these items were battle trophies, seized from fallen warriors and buried for safekeeping, possibly by a victorious Anglo-Saxon king. The discovery shocked historians. It showed just how advanced Anglo-Saxon craftsmanship really was, rivaling even the treasures of ancient Rome. But the story didn't end there. Under the Treasure Act of 1996, the find had to be split between the detectorists and the landowner. Terry Herbert and Fred Johnson each received a share of the $4 million payout, but instead of celebrating, the 2 men fell out over the money, leading to a bitter public feud. But beyond the drama, this discovery stands as a monument to history, war, and lost civilizations. It's a reminder that beneath the most ordinary fields and farmlands, echoes of ancient battles still lie hidden, waiting for the right person to uncover them. Our next treasure takes us to the English countryside, where a man searching for a lost hammer ended up uncovering one of the most important Roman treasures ever found. At number 4, we have the Hoxne hoard, a staggering collection of gold and silver artifacts from the 4th and 5th centuries AD, worth an estimated $4.6 million today. It was 1992 and Eric Laws, a retired farmer and metal detecting enthusiast, was searching for a lost hammer on his friend's farm in Hoxne, Suffolk. But instead of his hammer, his detector picked up something far more valuable: a buried cache of silver spoons and gold coins. Unlike many treasure hunters who might have quietly pocketed the findings, Lowe's did something remarkable. He immediately contacted the authorities, and because of that, archaeologists were able to excavate the hoard properly, preserving a priceless piece of history. In the final count, over 15,000 Roman coins, exquisite jewelry, a body chain, silver ladles, vases, and even pepper pots. A luxury spice container from a time when pepper was worth its weight in gold. One of the most fascinating pieces is a bracelet inscribed with the words, "Use this happily, Lady Julian." And on other artifacts, another name appears: Aurelius Ursinius, possibly the original owner of this fortune. Experts believe that this treasure was buried as the Roman Empire was collapsing, a desperate attempt by a wealthy Roman family to protect their wealth from invading Anglo-Saxon forces. As for Laws, his honesty paid off, and he and the farm's owner, Peter Rattling, received a £1.75 million reward, about $4.6 million. And his lost hammer? It was found and is now displayed in the British Museum, right next to the treasure it helped uncover. And you know, it's just proof that sometimes when you're searching for something small, you just might stumble onto something far greater than you ever imagined. Moving up on the list, we have a discovery that took 30 years to uncover: the Le Catalion II hoard, found on the Isle of Jersey in 2012, valued at $5.2 million. It's officially the largest Celtic coin hoard ever found. This story starts back in the 1980s when a local woman told two metal detectorists, Richard Miles and Reg Mead, that her father had once plowed up ancient coins on their farm. The two men were intrigued, but were only given permission to search for a single day. They found nothing. Now, most people would have given up, but not these two. For nearly 3 decades, they kept searching, returning year after year, and in 2012, their patience paid off. Buried just 1 meter underground, they found a gigantic fused mass of 68,000 silver coins, gold neck torques, and glass beads, dating back to 50 BC. It was so heavy, over a ton, that they had to use a crane just to lift it out of the earth. And get this, it took experts over 3 years to carefully separate and clean the coins, revealing the ancient craftsmanship of the Celtic tribes who once lived here. Historians believe the hoard was buried by a tribe fleeing from the Romans, desperate to protect their wealth from an invading empire. In the end, the Jersey government paid over $5.2 million for the hoard, securing its place as one of the most astonishing treasure finds in modern history. And if this story proves anything, it's that patience, persistence, and a little bit of belief can lead to extraordinary discoveries. As we continue up the list, our next treasure wasn't just a lucky find, it was one of the largest Viking hoards ever discovered. I might leave that in there. As we continue up the list, our next treasure wasn't just a lucky find, it was one of the largest Viking hoards ever discovered. At number 2, we have the Curadel Hoard, an astonishing 8,600-piece collection of silver coins and bullion discovered in 1840 and now estimated to be worth millions. It was an ordinary day in Lancaster, England, when a group of workmen stumbled upon a mysterious lead chest buried near the riverbank. When they cracked it open, they weren't prepared for what lay inside: a staggering pile of silver coins, brooches, and ingots, packed so tightly together that it looked like a Viking treasure chest straight out of legend. The hoard contained currency all over the Viking world: Scandinavian, Anglo-Saxon, Frankish, Islamic, Byzantine, and even papal coins, or papal, however you say that. This wasn't just a stash of riches, it was a time capsule of Viking trade and conquest, showing just how far their influence reached. But why was it buried? Historians believe that it may have belonged to a Viking warband, possibly one planning to reclaim control of Dublin, Ireland. The hoard's sheer size suggests that it could have been war chest funds, quickly hidden in uncertain times, perhaps by warriors who never returned to claim it. Unlike more modern treasure discoveries, this one became property of the British Crown under the laws of the time. Today, much of it is displayed in the British Museum, a testament to the Vikings' far-reaching power and their mysterious habit of burying wealth they never retrieved. I mean, it really makes you wonder just how many more Viking hoards are still out there just waiting to be found. You see, the Cyrodiil hoard proves just how much history is still out there, waiting to be uncovered, and while I haven't embarked on any treasure hunts of my own, just yet, with a little luck, some funding, and a whole lot of courage, that could change, and that's where you come in. If you're enjoying these deep dives into history and want to help this channel grow, consider checking out the Patreon. It's a great way to support what I do, and in return, you'll get early access to videos, behind-the-scenes scripts, one-on-one chats, and even some custom phone backgrounds I've started making. And who knows, with your help, I might just be on my way to my first real-life expedition, because if history has taught us anything, it's that incredible discoveries start with a simple step in the right direction. Check it out in the description or at the end of this video, and let's see where this adventure takes us. And now we reach the top of our list, the most valuable treasure hoard we're covering today. This one isn't just a pile of gold and jewels, it's a lost royal fortune, hidden for centuries and rediscovered purely by accident. At number 1, we have the Środa Treasure, a staggering 14th century collection of gold and silver coins, priceless jewels, and even a golden crown worth an estimated $120 million. It all began in 1985 in the town of Środa, Poland. Construction workers were demolishing an old building when they uncovered a hidden stash of silver coins. At first, no one thought much of it, but then, more coins, jewelry, and gold ornaments began to emerge. The discoveries continued for years until historians realized they had unearthed one of the greatest medieval treasures ever found. The crown adorned with precious stones is believed to have belonged to Blanche of Valois, the wife of Holy Roman Emperor Charles IV. Alongside it were nearly 4,000 silver and gold coins, intricate rings, pendants, a clasp, and more, some still bearing marks of medieval craftsmanship. So how did this royal fortune end up buried beneath a small town in Poland? Historians believe that during a financial crisis, Charles IV may have used this treasure as collateral for a loan, leaving it in the hands of local bankers. But when the chaos of history unfolded, wars, invasions, shifting borders, the treasure was forgotten. Can you imagine forgetting about $100 million? That's some rich folk problems. But for over 600 years, it remained hidden, buried beneath everyday life until a construction crew with no idea what they were about to find brought it back to the world. This treasure reminds us that history is never truly lost, just waiting to be uncovered. Some of the most priceless artifacts in the world are still out there, hidden beneath our feet, waiting for someone to find them. And if history has taught us anything, it's that incredible discoveries don't just belong to kings or archaeologists. They can be made by anyone, even someone just walking across a field, holding a metal detector, or swinging a pickaxe at a construction site. Because in reality, these are all just a bunch of mysteries waiting for someone like you to put the pieces of them back together to actually find them. And remember, where mystery lies, adventure awaits.